everyone, in our last lecture we focused on rebuilding trust and morale after a bullying incident. Today we will be exploring an important topic that can help prevent bullying from escalating in the first place: conflict resolution strategies. Conflict in the workplace is inevitable. Not all conflict is bad. Healthy conflict can lead to better ideas, improved processes, and stronger teams. However, when conflict is mismanaged or ignored, it can spiral into something much more harmful, like bullying. With the implementation of effective conflict resolution strategies, we can prevent small disagreements from growing into toxic situations. Let's learn how conflict can be managed constructively to maintain a respectful workplace. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to understand the role of conflict in the workplace and how it can either harm or improve team dynamics. Learn key conflict resolution strategies to address disagreements before they escalate. Explore how leadership and HR can promote a culture of healthy conflict management. First, let's clarify what we mean by conflict. Conflict in the workplace can take many forms: disagreement over ideas, differences in communication styles, or competing interests. While some people avoid conflict at all costs, others may engage in it too aggressively. Neither extreme is healthy. The goal is to manage conflict in a way that's productive, where differences are respected and solutions are reached collaboratively. Left unmanaged, conflict can lead to miscommunication. Small misunderstandings can escalate into larger issues when not addressed. Frustration. If people don't feel heard, they become frustrated and their productivity suffers. Division. Teams can become divided when conflict isn't handled well, leading to factions or cliques that damage collaboration. But conflict, when approached with right mindset and tools, can lead to better outcomes. Teams that work through conflict constructively often emerge stronger with a clearer sense of shared goals. Let's discuss some practical strategies for managing workplace conflict in a way that promotes respect and understanding. One of the most powerful tools in conflict resolution is active listening. Often, people involved in a conflict don't feel truly heard, which only adds to their frustration. Active listening involves fully focusing on what the other person is saying without planning your rebuttal or interrupting. After listening, paraphrase what the other person said to ensure understanding, and ask clarifying questions if needed. This technique helps diffuse tension because it shows that you value the other person's perspective, even if you do not agree with them. Another critical strategy is to address conflict early, before it has the chance to grow. Ignoring conflict doesn't make it go away, it often intensifies. If you notice tension or disagreement, engage the parties involved and encourage them to talk it out before it escalates. Early intervention is key to preventing small issues from becoming significant problems. A common mistake in conflict resolution is focusing on positions rather than underlying interests. People often dig into either positions, I want this, or we need to do it my way. But these positions are usually driven by deeper interests or needs. By focusing on those underlying interests, for example, I want to feel valued, or I'm concerned about the timeline, you can find common ground that leads to a solution that satisfies everyone. This approach encourages collaboration rather than competition. Sometimes conflicts require an impartial third party to help resolve them. This is where mediation comes in. Mediation allows both parties to express their perspectives with the help of a neutral mediator who guides the conversation and facilitates a resolution. Mediation is particularly useful when emotions are high or when previous attempts at resolving the conflict have failed. HR professionals or trained leaders often take on the role of mediator to ensure a fair, unbiased process. Once a resolution has been reached, it is essential to agree on a path forward. This means outlining what each party will do to prevent future conflicts and improve communication. Follow-up meetings can be useful to check in on progress and ensure that conflict is truly resolved. Let's consider a story that highlights the power of conflict resolution. In a small advertising agency, two senior team members, Claire and David were responsible for managing several client accounts together. Over time, they developed a pattern of disagreeing over how to handle clients. Claire believed in a more conservative approach, while David favored bold, creative strategies. Their arguments started as small disagreements but quickly escalated into a public dispute that made the rest of the team uncomfortable. Their manager, seeing the tension, decided to intervene before the situation worsened. She organized a mediation session where Claire and David could openly discuss their perspectives. Through active listening and focusing on their shared goals, they realized that while their approaches were different, they both wanted what was best for the company and the clients. With the mediator's help, they agreed on a plan that combined both their strategies, and their work relationship improved significantly. The moral of the story? Conflict doesn't have to lead to division. When handled correctly, it can strengthen relationships and improve outcomes. Think of a conflict like a pressure cooker. If you let pressure build without releasing it, the cooker eventually explodes. In the same way, if you avoid addressing conflict, the tension will keep building until it bursts, often in a damaging way. Conflict resolution strategies act like the release valve on the pressure cooker. By addressing each issue early and allowing people to express their frustrations in a healthy way, you prevent the explosion and create a safer, more harmonious environment. For your next assignment, I would like you to identify a conflict that you have witnessed or experienced in a workplace or a group setting. Analyze the situation and suggest which conflict resolution strategies could have been applied to reach a better outcome. Be specific about how each strategy could have helped. Have any of you used conflict resolution strategies in your workplace or group settings? What worked and what didn't? I would love to hear your experiences and thoughts during our next class. Do not hesitate to share examples or questions that we can discuss together. That concludes today's lecture. In our next session, we will discuss long-term strategies for maintaining a bully-free workplace and ensuring that the healthy dynamics we have built stay strong. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you next time.